Good evening and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. It is July 1st, 2025, and it is 6 p.m. Call this meeting to order. We do have a quorum. If everyone would please rise for the prayer and the pledge.
Bow your heads. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing this group of our community members together for this Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. Father, please keep everyone safe. Please keep our EMS, police department, and fire department safe, and all the citizens. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all. First item we've got is to approve the minutes from the May 29th, 2025 workshop, the June 3rd, 2025 public hearing, and regular meeting. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderwoman Haas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor No. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Now moving on to the public comment period. We have 3 people that have signed up, and so you would have 3 minutes to speak to the board, and you can come up if you, I believe everyone spoke during the public hearing, so if you don't want to speak, just let me know as we get everything going. So I believe first we've got, is it Craig Purcell? Welcome back.
So regarding to, again, the public part, they were talking about the traffic. With the speed limit that's currently at 5 miles an hour, everybody knows what do? 35, right? It's just common knowledge. So if you're gonna put a bypass through that neighborhood, I would recommend lowering the speed limit, putting speed bumps up. That would be my recommendation. Again, you can't stop progress, and I think you need progress in this town. I think your plans are good. You got to think about these things. Do we want the traffic coming through our neighborhood? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But if you're going to do it, if you look at some of the other neighborhoods, they have put speed bumps up. I think on Nolensville Road, down the way, they closed one of the roads, and you go through the neighborhood, 15 mile an hour speed bumps. Everybody goes slow. That is what I would ask, that you control the speed through our neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Miss Anita, sorry. And then Mr. Walt. Okay. Let us move on then to departmental reports. Police Department, Chief Mays.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board of Aldermen. You have the report in front of you. I do like to kind of stick to the yearly crime totals as a whole. Month to month, everything ebbs and flows with it. But we still have a challenge with vehicle burglaries and motor vehicle theft. Theft is up a little bit, but it's 0.9%, so it's rather flat. We're going to be looking at some proactive measures in terms of vehicle burglary and motor vehicle theft. A couple of ideas that have come to mind in our discussions have been to just make contact with the residents who own the vehicles that are most likely or most frequently stolen, and then we're trying to reach out to the manufacturers of the club, which is an anti-theft device, see if we can get some donations there, and then make those available for free to residents who own those vehicles that are most often stolen. Proactivity, yearly totals, calls for service are up 3.1%. And we also have quite a few DUI arrests overall are down, including drug arrests, but our citations and warnings are down as well. Recovered stolen vehicles are up 9.4%. So we have some good numbers there. And then yearly traffic totals, Vice Mayor, I think you'll be happy with that. I know in the past you've made some comments about more traffic enforcement. Speeding citations are up 22.1%. Injury crashes do appear to be up for the year, but crashes in overall total are down 6%. So our traffic stops are up And I believe that the citations and the traffic stops are up in response to the Operation Safe Streets that we've done. And again, last night was the second iteration of Operation Safe Streets. We not only paired with THP and the Sheriff's Department for the traffic enforcement, but we also had members of the Laverne Police Department partner up with probation and parole. And then we sought individuals who were wanted on active warrants that resided here in the city of Laverne. This was a joint operation with probation and parole. We're very happy to have that kind of a working relationship with them and restore those relationships. TBI was not involved, despite some rumors that were put out there, and we did not partner with any federal agencies on this. We did make 7 arrests on warrants throughout the city of Laverne. So I guess the silver lining in that is when we were first given the list of wanted subjects in the city of Laverne, it was 26. But when we did our vetting of the data and the individuals, we found out that a majority of them no longer lived in Laverne, so that's good. And we found out that others had already been picked up on some of their warrants, so it was relatively a small number. Incidents of significance that I do that are not in the report that I wanted to talk to you about. The first one is the shots fired incident that occurred up at Veterans Park by the basketball courts some weeks back. The Detective Bureau did a phenomenal job investigating that, and they were able to develop suspects in that and get a search warrant for a house. During the search of the house, we did recover a gun that related back to, through NIBIN testing, it came back to the same shell casings that were at the scene, as well as another incident of gunplay that occurred in the city of Laverne. So we have charges pending for the individuals that were involved in that. So that's great. And then the warrant service that occurred in Smyrna that a lot of people saw on social media, one of the first uses of our new Bearcat. That individual had actually, he was found with a gun on the seat of his car, passed out behind the wheel, and then fled from officers, crashing into one of our squad cars and leading us on a high-speed pursuit down on 24 in excess of 125 miles an hour. The pursuit was called off due to weather conditions and things of that nature, but he was identified. We were able to get a warrant for his house and get him into custody. It ended up being an armed, barricaded subject, but after negotiators talked to him for quite some time, we were able to get him out of the house without incident or injury. So very proud of the work that's being done by our Detective Bureau and our Patrol Division. They're really out there doing the best that they can. So I just wanted you to know the great work that's being done. With that, I'll answer any questions.
With the incident in Smyrna, you got to utilize some of our bilingual officers, is that right?
That's correct. One individual came out right away. He was not involved, and he spoke Arabic. And thankfully, we have 2 officers now in our ranks that speak Arabic, and we're like, we got a person for that. So we called the officer up, and he was able to translate for us and really get us some more information, because that's one of the things we want to do. If somebody comes out of that house, we want to interview them, find out how many people are in the house, where they may be, if there are any weapons, dogs, things of that nature. So it was an invaluable tool to have that level of diversity amongst our ranks here in the city of Laverne. And that's one of the things that I preach. Our department needs to represent the community that we serve, and our diversity is our strength.
And then, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but I know last night, the residents noticed very much that police were out in force patrolling our city. So please let all the agencies involved know that they are appreciated by our citizens.
Absolutely, will do. And we'll be doing it again in July, and we'll be doing it again in August. So it's going to be out there. So,
Good.
all right.
I don't have a question, but I said it month before last, I said it last month, and I'll say it tonight. I absolutely love your all's interaction on social media. Sometimes just letting a citizen know about what happened is it's a good thing. So I love that. Whoever's in charge of it, you know, you've told me a couple times, and I'll probably forget next month. But so they're doing a great job keeping up with that.
That's Detective Ledke, and he's doing a fantastic job. And I'll tell you, he's
I don't know why
texting
I
me.
can't remember that name.
I'll remind you every time, sir. But he's texting me at home on Saturday mornings, Sunday mornings, you know, at night. I mean, he's on it. So it's great. And he has a passion for it. So that's why we selected him, and I'm glad to have him doing that.
I just want to say that Carrie and your group did an awesome job helping out with the football camp at LHS a couple of Saturdays ago.
Yes, you did.
There was, Officer Tompkins and I think Officer Jared.
Gerald's?
Gerald.
Colton Gerald's and
Yeah.
Al Tompkins?
Yeah.
Yep.
They were out there in the heat and the sun and along with Box 55, and the kids had a great time. The kids learned a lot from what I saw, and the presentation, the lunch was awesome, but then the presentation afterwards was very inspirational, and I mean, the coach, everybody did an awesome job. So kudos to your group.
Good, thank you. Yeah, Al Tompkins and Colton Gerald's are very passionate about community engagement. And, you know, we need people out there, you know, running and gunning and doing traffic stops and everything else, but we also need people that are engaged in the community. You know, we can't just do one and not focus on the other, and they're a great example of two people who are really engaged.
Anyone else? Thank you, Chief.
All right, thank you.
Next up, we have got the Fire Department, Chief Beasley, with his official-looking reports.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen. I trust that you've had the opportunity to review the report for the month of June. As always, the numbers don't lie, and we had just a slight increase in medical calls and a few other items that increased the monthly run volume over this time last year, but I assume that at some point that will level back out by the end of the year. I always anticipate a 3 to 5% increase each year, and that holds true typically. So I don't see anything there of any concern. Do y'all have any questions about that portion?
No.
I would like to draw a few pieces of attention that does not reflect in our monthly report, our training opportunities that we've taken over the last month. We've had 3 very significant training exercises on top of our rookie class that we're doing right now with our group from within the city that we've hired, as well as the town of Smyrna, 7 of their firefighters with a collaboration with their department, their training instructors. So we have which is our 4th internal recruit training class. So we're seeing a lot of success in that and doing very well. We also had 2 training opportunities. One is aerial operations, and pump operations would be the second one. Those are 3 weeks worth of classes that we learned from a Tennessee Fire coach instructor. Is probably one of the finest, if not the most knowledgeable person in those fields that I've seen in my 34-year career. He works for the Tennessee Fire Coach Academy now. I don't know how long we'll be able to retain him within the state because of his talents. So we have somebody embedded with him that works with him routinely that is absorbing that knowledge all they can, so we can have that internally and we can spread that. We also sent some people over to West Tennessee for a training exercise, 80 hours worth of training in structural collapse, which was a tremendous, significant event for our guys. I mean, this is to train with some high-level people in some arenas that we don't typically get to see, and we hope to continue to grow that. So I think if you'll see those are definitely worth mentioning over this past month. We've been exceptionally busy in that category. You also have 2 other documents in front of you. I know I just gave them to you just before we started, so you hadn't had a chance to review them. The first one is our annual report for 2024. This is our 4th one that we've completed. We skipped 1 year. Building a fire station took up a lot of our time. So we missed last year. So there's our report for this year. It is very, nothing but the facts in this one. This is not a lot of fluff. It is what we've done in the significant things that we feel like we've accomplished and some of our goals for the next year. You also see something in front of you, the customer-driven strategic plan. That's our 5-year strategic plan. If y'all recall, a couple of years ago, it's been 2 years now, we asked y'all as the board and the city to share surveys to the citizens of Laverne, the people that visit here on your social media sites, our social media sites. We also polled and surveyed our internal stakeholders, according to that, our firefighters, to see what each group valued. Where are we missing? What are we doing well? Where can we grow? And what do you need from us? And you'll see those comments within there. We did not copy verbatim what they wanted. We summarized it, just so you have a better understanding of that. We partnered with the University of Tennessee and Municipal Technical Advisory Service on a 3-day event held at the library. Thank you, Ms. Donna. We had some of our city leadership, including Scott Tatalovich and Bruce and Kyle and Jules, sat in and participated in a 3-day strategic plan, just like what we participated in as city leaders twice now. We took that information from what our firefighters valued from the report, combined with what they felt was necessary, wrote it all down, and then pushed pause. We held up until the city could begin our process as a group, developing a strategic plan, and so to make sure that our plans match the city's growth and the plans for the city as well. What you have in front of you now is what we hope that we can accomplish. It's our goals for the next 5 years. There's, I believe, 7 goals listed and objectives underneath each one of those. It also tells our success measures, how we will determine whether we're doing the right things and we're completing our tasks. This time next year, we'll revisit this document. It'll be a living document that grows every single year. We'll check off what we've done this year, grow that into the next year, and plan each year out. There's also a 10-year rough capital improvement plan within that document. This is significant. It follows the business model of strategic planning. It follows what MTAS develops and shares across the state, and it also helps us understand under the Center of Public Safety Excellence, which is a nationwide organization, is a third party that reviews fire departments and says, you are doing business well. This is one of the very first steps of that accreditation process. It's significant to make sure that we're doing all the things to meet the citizens of Laverne's needs as well as our own firefighters' needs. Do y'all have any questions about either one of those 2 documents?
Not about the documents, no.
Okay. What do you got a question about?
Anyone else?
Well, once
Anyone have a question
again,
about the documents?
Hey, and Mr. No, Vice Mayor No, our good friend Lawrence helped me with this as well.
who?
Lawrence,
Alma.
Greenspun.
Oh, God. Bauma. I would definitely will look at the, I ain't gonna look at it now, look at it when I get home, but just like Chief over there, whoever's doing your, is Curtis doing the, social media?
He might be Mickey Spillane.
Is that right? I knew there was something about him. And Mr. Mayor, if I could indulge this board, would it be possible to get Mr. Beasley to come up here and autograph this picture? I want to keep that.
So when I die, this will be a.
Don't sign it down there. I'm going to cut that out.
You aren't right. No, Ronnie, I've got some legitimate questions.
I wouldn't
Can I say
legitimate.
something?
Absolutely.
Yes,
I
sir.
just want to say that the fire last Wednesday night
Yes, ma'am.
at the auto body shop, your guys were awesome.
Thank you.
And very professional, and Curtis out there, he did a great job. And then Premier Hazmat.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, they came out and doing the cleanup and stuff. I mean, the next day, all there was just dust from the kitty litter stuff they put out to suck up the oil that spilled. So everyone did a great job.
Thank you, and I'll pass that along. And a lot of that has to do with, we do more than firefighting and EMS, protecting the environment. I think our water department would appreciate that. Alex was very complimentary of that, so is positive out of the negative.
Right. Okay, I'm done.
Alderman Coates, Alderwoman Hobbs, y'all got any questions? So I want to ask about the new training facility.
Yes, sir.
I drive through there quite a bit because my father lives back on Sanders, so even saw some of your team out there today. So do you want to talk about how that's used so that our citizens can understand that?
Absolutely. So from the layman's view of it, you drive by, it looks like shipping containers stacked on top of one another. There's not much. I mean, you drive by any shipping yard anywhere and you're going to see the same thing. But I think what's most important about this is I call it a grassroots effort. Our firefighters drew these plans with the help of our city engineer, which endorsed it. He helped and said, yep, nope, you can't do that. No, don't do that. But he helped us tremendously. So our guys have developed this plan. They built it with the help of a few outside vendors and put that together. To me, that's the biggest part of the morale of it, is that's their building that they put together, and they're extremely proud of it. If you look at that building, it's just 7 shipping containers. That means a lot to those guys. But for the citizens, what that does, it gives us an opportunity to train as realistic situations as we can. We'll be able to build live fire exercises inside there. The reality is, in the nation's fire service, I'm sure in the same as in police department, our organizations are becoming younger and younger and younger every year. The turnover rate is exceptional at the senior level. And so the only way that we can serve well, because we don't have the experience, is to get that through training evolutions. As close to real life scenarios as we can, to stress them as hard as we can, so they understand exactly what they're going to be dealing with. So if you go inside those containers, there's rooms, closets, bathrooms. There'll be furniture in there. Second floor. And I also like to thank David and his crew, Bobby. They've done an exceptional job in the carpentry. They built a deck on the outside. They're working on the stairs on the inside. It's a team effort. And so you'll be able to advance a hose line in the building, go to the second floor, possibly a third floor, search buildings, put fires out, the whole 9 yards. For what we've spent on it, it's an exceptional facility. Hopefully, if we ever can grab some land somewhere else in partnership with PD, we'll move those cans somewhere else and add to.
Wonderful. Thank you, sir. Moving on to Parks and Recreation Department, Mr. David McGowan.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board, thank you. I feel like I'm limping. Ronnie was so long, I think my leg fell asleep back there. So I'm gonna try to catch us up. You got the parks numbers for the month. 97 help desk tickets, 615 man hours devoted to those. You can see our past events. We had a family movie night. Our second workshop was this past Friday. Upcoming events, July 4th, this Friday, our Independence Day celebration. July 18th will be our family movie night, Paddington and Peru. That'll be at the multipurpose building at 6 p.m. Our third workshop will be August the 1st. Learning Made Fun by Canvas. That will be a painting class at the multipurpose building at 6 p.m. also. Upcoming meetings, July 21st, Park and Rec Advisory at 5 and Beautification at 6. July 4th, this Friday, our gates open at 5:30. Veterans Memorial Park, that's where all the festivities will take place. The band should go on at 6. Ray Raddick Band, as of now, we have 25 vendors, including food trucks. Fireworks about 8:45, 9 o'clock. Any questions?
Just want to ask, we still have Bo Logan singing the national anthem?
Yes.
Wonderful.
He
I meant
confirmed
that.
while I was sitting back there.
I meant to ask you today when I spoke to you, and I forgot. How's the Learning Made Fun thing coming along? The past ones.
The past ones, the first one was very successful. The one we had Friday night was postponed because we had a rainout date the week before. So we had like 3 or 4 participants in that. Hopefully we'll get 25. The first one we probably had at the Bird Feeder Workshop about 20. This one is open up to 25 also. As of now, I think we have 8 registered, so there's still some time to get that done.
Did you have Andrew out there teaching those kids how to change tires and stuff?
No, actually, we partnered with Public Works and Auto Shop.
Oh, okay.
A couple of the
Thought
mechanics were out
Andrew
there.
may have brought his expertise.
Oh, you mean Andrew? I thought you meant my Andrew Parks.
No, he's leading the bird
actually-
feeding.
No, I'm a designated Parks and Rec maintenance worker, according to them from a few months ago, so.
Yeah,
No,
there
no,
you
the
go.
the vice mayor's just confused. He's leading the bird feeding.
Oh, okay.
I was not requested to attend either, so there's probably reasons for that too, so.
Any other duties, part of the job
That's
description?
right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next up, we have the library, Miss Donna Bebout, with summer reading in full effect.
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Aldermen, good evening. Good to see you all. Of course, this is our June report, and I want to point out the very first number is the attendance number, 6,235. Now, that is an estimated number because when I pulled up the GV Web report, it showed me 12,000 and something, and I'm going, heartbeat, heartbeat. And then I remembered, and it felt like that much, but it wasn't really. So I did divide it by 2, and this is about what we had. One of the reasons that it is higher, we had a girls' camp for 2 weeks, and there were 16 to 18 girls that came in and out, and in and out, and in and out. But it was great. They had a great time. And if you'll notice, our programs, we had 26 programs with a program attendance, and this is clicked every time, of 1,090 people. So June has been a very, very busy month. We've had approximately 600 to 650 people sign up for the reading, and that includes babies all the way through us older people. And so it's been a really good summer so far. Before we get into the things that are upcoming, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of people. On Saturday, June 14th, we had a patron who, he and I have been talking ever since National Night Out about the mask that he had made, and he had made this mask, and his name is Chuck Isbell. Chuck also shared with me that he used to make masks with his sons, and especially his youngest son, Nate. It was very touching, and we talked a lot, and he brought me a flash drive that had pictures of Nate with the mask on that he had made him. We went on to talk about what a great activity that would be for our children and our young teens, and Chuck was all for it. So on Saturday the 14th, Chuck and Kristen Morlock came out. She was his assistant. We had 55 people attend. We had mask making going on all over that room. And I'm not talking about foam masks with markers and sticky on jewels. We're talking about he had made these masks that fit to their heads. He brought in little gears, he brought in paints, they shadowed it. I mean, they were amazing. I think next month I'm going to bring in some pictures for you all to see. His oldest son and his wife and his grandchildren came. So it was a great day. It was a really, to me, that was community. That was community coming together and sharing their talents. And Chuck told me, he said, this feels good. So I was so thankful that we got to do that. Another shout out goes to one of our own, Alex Thompson. She is our stormwater superstar. She did on June the 21st. I keep wanting to say January, Mayor. I'm trying not to say that. June 21st, she did Creekside Saturday. And this is such a fun time. This year, Alex read the book Drop, The Adventure of the water cycle. She had the best time with her son sitting right beside her on the stage and her husband in the background. And then she took the children out to the creek. We sat out tarps for the children to sit on, and then Alex got into the creek. And this year she didn't have her boots on. She got into a creek with her socks on, and I'm going, ooh, because I know what's in that creek. I've seen it. And so she does her magic, and she pulls up some little critters from the creek, and she brings them up so the children can see. And she talks about why it's so important to have clean water and why it's so important that we keep our storm water clean. And the children had the very best time. Now, that was on the 21st when it was 97 degrees. So we usually do a scavenger hunt, and we said, nix the scavenger hunt. We went straight to water play. So we had sprinklers out, squirters out, and all sorts of fun, and then everyone got a water popsicle. But it was a great day. Alex has done this with us for at least 3 years now, and we enjoy partner with her. This year, she gave all of the children a coloring book talking all about stormwater. So it was a great day. All right, very quickly, wanted to let everyone know that on July 14th, we will have our library board meeting at 5 p.m. The library will be closed this Friday, July 4th, and we also close on Saturday, July 5th. The staff, I want to make sure everyone knows, the staff takes a regular day off there so that they can have their long 3-day weekend like other city workers, other than our first responders, which we are so blessed to have. So we will be closed Friday the 4th and Saturday the 5th, and we will resume our regular hours on Monday, July 7th. If you look on down, you can see the different activities that we have going on. Tomorrow we have science with Mr. Ritchie, which is always fun. He ends the program with this most awesome leaf blower with a roller attached, and he puts toilet paper on it, and he rolls toilet paper all over the children. It's just a lot of fun. We've got Terry Hedges, a magician. Teens are going to be doing bad art. Think about that one for a few moments. Then we're going to partner with Parks and Recreation. I think this is about our 15th time to partner with them for our duck race. Bobby did tell me when he had real ducks that he was going to bring his real ducks and put them in the creek, and then that's not going to happen. So we're going to have our regular rubber ducks, and the parks makes a wonderful, what do we make a wonderful of, David? Duck slide. A duck slide, okay. Duck slide, river, duck slide river, there we go. That the children go in heats, 10 at a time. They throw their ducks in. Parks and Rec guys have fun throwing big buckets of water on the duck slide, and the ducks go down, and then we have a parks guy down there catching the first and second and third one. And we go through the heats, and then we have winners, and the children absolutely love it. We end up with, of course, squirters and making sure everyone gets nice and wet and have a good time. So that's a fun partnership with Parks and Rec. The teens are going to have an ice cream social, and they're excited about that. And then Bob Tarter's coming again with entomology. Bob is the one who brings his great big snake. And so I'm sure he will bring the snake again. And then a couple of years ago, he brought a kangaroo, which was so cool. No zebras, though.
Oh, God.
Poor Ed.
No.
Found enough of that.
And also, we had to delay our family craft tie-dye book bags, but we are going to do that on July 19th, which is our last day of summer reading and our summer reading finale. We're going to start doing that at 11 o'clock, and then we're going to end our summer reading on the same day at 1:30 with our summer reading foam team party. And I would be delighted if our mayor and our aldermen could come out to be a part of that wonderful foam team party. And any of our directors or anyone who would like to join us, it is for all ages. But our summer is wrapping up really well. We, of course, the 19th is our last day, so we are just doing a great job. The staff is amazing, and we're having fun.
Does anyone have any questions?
She's busy.
I just have one thing. I do want to volunteer for July 16th, that Chief Mays will come down and he will hold that big python
Oh,
for the
okay.
entomology.
Yeah.
Nice.
So congratulations, sir.
Thank you, Chief,
It's all
for
about the kids.
volunteering. It's all about the kids, yeah.
It is. It's all about the kids. I'll see if my wife will come too. She's deathly afraid of snakes.
Thank you, Ms.
Excellent.
Donna.
Thank you.
Next, we have the Finance Department, Ms. Danielle Brown.
Poor Danielle has to follow Miss Donna.
She's gonna start making colorful slides.
I have a baby zebra at home right now that I'm training. I'm just joking. Good evening.
Is he gonna go into the vice mayor's backyard and then escape?
If you will get with the mayor or Bruce and cry and stomp your feet like Danny did, you won't have to follow Donna.
There was a lot of crying.
Well, thank you for that tip. Good evening. The financials are in your packet. On page 1 is the financial summary as of May 31st. The general fund, the expenditures exceeded revenue by $1.7 million. You will see that there were some budget amendments that were presented. The local sales tax, the current year exceeds previous year by $85,000. That's an average of $1.4 million a month. I'm sorry, yes, $1.4 million a month. The property tax exceeds the budget by $150,000 as of May 31st. The state street aid, the expenditures exceed the revenue by $77,000. Stormwater, the expenditures exceed revenue by $960,000. The water and sewer fund, the operating income is $2.9 million, and the net income is $3.5 million. Page 2, as of May 31st, we have $65.8 million in all bank accounts. That's $33.8 million in the general fund. The water and sewer has 12.7. So those two accounts together make up 71% of the cash that's in our bank accounts. Page 3 is the financial summary of fiscal year 2024 compared to 2025 for the general fund and the water and sewer fund. The difference at the graph at the end, there's a number missing. It's like 7.2 million. So, so far this year compared to last year, we exceed by 750,000 for water and sewer. And I also did want to mention, when Truist was here, there was one thing that was missed. We did negotiate $14,000 in credits each month, so that's an additional $175,000.
That's a chunk.
Any questions about the budget? Thank you, Ms. Daniel. And last but not least, we've got the water treatment plant. Mr. Danny Campbell, I see you follow that one up.
I'll try. Good
More
evening,
money?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Board.
More money?
More, yeah. I'm not asking for that yet.
No, giving us more
Oh,
money.
I mean, that's above my pay grade. I wish I could. I hope you've had the opportunity to review our monthly report for June. A couple things I'd like to mention. We did receive our sanitary survey letter from TDEC. We did receive a score of 592 out of 599, which is a 98%. The water treatment plant staff are pleased with how we scored. That being said, we know that there's plenty of room to improve, and our goal is always to receive 100%. I'd like to thank Mike Dietz and Jeremy Buskus and his crew for all their hard work in the distribution system. Year in and year out, they always score very well, if not 100% on their portion. But their partnership with Infomark makes our job a whole lot easier, especially in kind of a stressful situation when the state shows up unannounced, and making sure that we have all our ducks in a row. We rely heavily on each other for things, so I always appreciate their help, as does our staff. We did start our annual flushing program last week. We have flushed 82 hydrants and 7 blow-offs, knocked out just under 7.5% of our total number of hydrants for just under 720,000 gallons of water. Any questions?
Anyone have any questions? Danny, 2 questions. Number 1, can you give us all the streets that you are flushing?
All of them, no. That will be posted.
Point of order.
Yeah. That will be posted on the, what's that?
Already is posted.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then,
it's posted on social media.
Can you talk to us about the customer service and as far as the complaint, and
Yes.
then if anyone has any concerns, where they can contact.
Yes, sir. We had one customer service complaint or not customer service, customer complaint for low pressure. We did have our inspector go out, test that, the hose bib outside their house. It was at 30 PSI. We're required to give 20 PSI or provide 20 PSI to every home in the city. What we suggested was having that customer contact a plumber to look at their pressure regulating valve. That's typically what it is in those situations. And so we weren't able to get a hold of the customer. They were not there at the time, so we did contact them, leave them messages to what they could do for that, and to give us a call back if they needed any further help. That number is 615-793-6536, option 2. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments about your water quality, low pressure complaints, or any complaints for that matter, please give us a call. We're happy to go out and assist.
And when can they call?
They can call 24/7, 365. So,
Wonderful.
yes,
Thank you, Danny.
yes.
Moving on to old business. Second reading ordinance 2025-15. An ordinance to amend the City of Laverne zoning ordinance by changing the official zoning map for tax map 32 parcels 3.04 and 3.05 and tax map 29 parcels 41.01 and 41.02. Property consists of approximately 76.55 acres. Property located on or near Waldron Road and Blair Road. Current zoning R1 low density residential zoning district. Proposed zoning is PDR, Planned Density Residential Zoning District, with a base zone of R3, High Density Residential. A public hearing was held tonight on that, and we heard people speak about that. With that, need a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules to allow the developer to address concerns from our residents this evening.
Or second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Before we get him up here, I do want to go through just a little bit of the packet that we've got on this,
That'd be great.
because I know some of our residents, and give some of the backstory on this. Glenn, can you start us off over on page 62 of the packet? So this has gone through more than just this meeting and last month's meeting. It went through Planning Commission for quite a while. And Planning Commission is always something, we always learn something with every development. So this is a PDR, which is basically under our current zoning ordinance, the only zone that's going to allow retail, standalone commercial, and residential together in one zoning. So you can see on the screen the parcels that are in question, and you can see the outline of that intersection. That intersection is Blair and Waldron Road, and then it trails off into a new road, which is called Blair West, which is going to be built. The ridge would be basically at the lower back side of this picture. So you can see that the front section of it is retail. The back section is residential. You can see it's got a little bit of everything. It has apartments, townhomes, single-family homes in this. All of the design work, which Planning Commission went through, we put percentages on materials, and we've allowed certain materials and we've disallowed certain materials. At the same time, we also did the same thing with commercial development. And so in this packet, we actually have, we took, again, learning some lessons, as we said, we took items that were mentioned with the commercial development portions of Arbor Ridge and what residents in the community said that they did not want in this community. We took those, we copied those over into this development, and then we added on to them and included some more items that were brought in. And then at right before this came over to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, Alderwoman Hobbs had asked for a few more to be added on there as well. So some of those, just to give you an example, I'm not going to go through all of them because it's a very lengthy list, but hookah bars, vape stores, CBD stores, marijuana stores, self-storage, mortuaries, those types of things are disallowed or prohibited in this development. It does have in there a plan for a retail food store, or as most people just usually call it, a grocery store. We do not, I can tell you, when I say we, I use we as far as the city, we do not know of any tenants that have signed with this development yet, just simply because there's no vested rights yet. That's what this process is doing, is giving them zoning rights to say, you can do here, you can have residential here. Currently, it's all residential. There's no commercial zoning on these two parcels. So no one would really sign currently for the simple reason that there's no rights to do it. So it's wishful thinking until we grant those, and that's what this process is about. That is a good slide to stay on right there. You'll see right smack dab in the middle is a roundabout. Alderman Coates is very fond of roundabouts. Sometimes we fight over roundabouts at Planning Commission because while they are beneficial for slowing down traffic, not many people in the South know how to work them. So the Blair Road, Waldron Road intersection is actually slated to be a red light currently, and that was approved with the Arbor Ridge development, and that will come as the road widens.
I do have one other question I wanted to ask about the roundabout, because I believe not long ago we approved engineering with Kimley Horn came with the Blair West expansion project about a roundabout on the Blair West and Dobson Knob Trail. Did we not? I thought that was probably 2 months ago.
Gary, do you remember that?
And that's not displayed. With the Dobson Knob extension, there was not a roundabout at Blair?
I don't.
The only roundabouts where Blair Road touches Carruthers.
Because I thought that was separate before this came to. Kyle, that's not ringing a bell for you?
No, Blair, what Gary stated, Blair West has a roundabout at Carruthers, and then Dobson Knob Trail would just be just a connection.
Okay, that was my mistake then.
No problem. There's with the back section of the property where the bulk of the residential is, numerous waterways, and part of our current zoning ordinance and the future zoning ordinance will have methods to edit the PDRs, because if we're going to have PDRs, we've got to be able to edit them, and it will have to go through the regular process, but I would not be surprised to see it come back through due to some of the waterways with some changes there. You don't get that granular into the waterways until you're already there doing the dirt work, is what I found out. And Alderman Coates, you can weigh in on that part if you want. You've been on Planning Commission far longer than Planning Commission's been around.
Glenn, if you just go to page 77, if you would. Very important slide. If you just come down the page and see the bottom line. If you look at the bottom number there, that 243, that's the dollar numbers the developer's going to spend on the property. If you look at the pie graph, you'll see the retail obviously is a majority. So it's a real big deal for Laverne. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to be a real big deal. The Planning Commission, which the mayor and I sit on, we scrutinise this for several months, and the PDR book is the referee's book of what can and can't go in there. At the same time, if this does get passed through this evening, the developer has to come back to the Planning Commission for all the site work, the approval process that normal city does have. So there are other ways that we can still manage the project, but this project has been ongoing for a long while,
And I think the planning commission did a great job of getting in this book to where it needs to be.
Glenn, can you go over to page 74? So the residential portions, you can see the trees. At the same time, there's going to be a greenway that works through here. And there's going to be a very large, and Alderman Coates, correct me if I'm wrong here, I believe it's a 50-foot buffer.
That's correct, 50 feet.
That is going to be between the property lines backing up to this at the ridge and this development. So that's where the greenway is going to go, so it's a walkable path. I've talked to a couple people over in the ridge who've asked about golf carts traversing this, and this is the first I've ever heard of golf carts. We're kind of becoming Brentwood or Panama City, is my first thought. We need the beach, though. But to do that, we have to work that out with everyone, but people have asked about that. This was not designed for walkability. All of the residential portions are all gated communities, all of them. So if you look in the back, where he zoomed in at, those are going to be gated communities. And then the bottom corner area that's in red, right there. Ronnie is probably most excited about that because that is land that's being donated to the city for a future fire station. At the same time, Ron, look at that smile. At the same time,
Ooh, look at the frown.
I'll get that frown turned upside down in just a minute, but we've got, we've had conversations about, yes, shared space for the police department, as well as coordinating with the county to bring in EMS, which currently, I say our side because I live on the south side of Waldron, but we have to wait for an ambulance to dispatch from Stonecrest. And if that one's already dispatched, then it's from this side of Laverne. That's a little bit of a wait. So this would put police, fire, and EMS quite a bit closer than they currently are. Look, Chief Mays is smiling now. He's so happy. Next, we're going to get him a red hat.
I think the shared space is going to be a closet.
It's still a space. The different businesses that could potentially, and I use this word potential because, again, nothing has been signed. If you could go to page 80, please, Mr. Glenn, and then zoom way out. These are potentials. Again, nothing is signed because there are no vested rights on this property. These are some businesses that they see could fit for this area. And then, can you go over to 84, please? Nope, not 84. Sorry. What page is this? 82. I went too far. These are other potential businesses that could be part of this. Again, I preference that nothing has been signed.
Mr. Mayor, one of the folks back there said that they were not completely sure where this is going. Glenn, can you put up page 53? That is the ridge on the bottom left in the middle, and then everything in green. Where he's got his cursor, that's Waldron Road. And then back behind it.
And then, can you also go to 69? You're loving us jumping through all these page numbers. So going back to talking about buffering, this is what we're talking about for buffering in the residential buffer zone. Zoom out for me just a bit, please, Glenn. So we've got a whole section here on residential buffering, as well as just giving you a depiction of the large, thick trees that they're planning to use to buffer this. So ideally, the goal is that it's going to buffer any of the commercial from the residential. Now, with that, I think Alderwoman Hobbs had some questions for the developer. Now, Turnbull is here. I don't think Land was able to make it. So, Turnbull, if you could come up, state your name and address for the record again, please.
Turnbull Persley, Equitable Property Company.
I don't know that I have any specific questions, but I do want to address some of the comments Annette had made earlier, concerns about traffic. I had spoke with Land, and I believe it was your engineer who conducted this traffic study at the last meeting, and they have verbally agreed to share the information from their traffic studies with the city in order for us to make informed decisions about speed bumps and that sort of thing when the time comes. But again, they have agreed to share that information so we can make decisions about stop signs, things like that moving forward. So that was definitely one thing promising about this developer for me. They've also, just their track record, they're also doing Stewart's Creek Landing over in Smyrna. They've secured a Jonathan's for over there. They have worked with some higher quality retailers, Bar Taco, things like that.
Sprouts.
In the 12 South area. So it's another promising reason why I think it's a good idea to move forward with this project, just based on their track record thus far. As far as concerns about street parking and speeding through the neighborhood, one thing to do that we can do right now is the police department has a current survey out that you can go online and fill out, and they're targeting specific areas based on community concerns. So I do recommend, if there are concerns about street parking and speeding in the neighborhood, that you just go online and fill that out. I actually saw somebody out there this past week enforcing some street parking through the week. So thank you for addressing that.
And just real quick, if anyone wants to, we even have the QR codes posted right here in the lobby. If anyone wants to scan those with your phone, you can get taken right to that survey. That way you don't have to just look it up online.
That's all I really have. I don't really have any questions,
Okay.
but
And Glenn, can you put up page 59 just to give you all a little bit of an idea about what this, what they're looking at? Just give you some ideas. And, Mr. Mayor, is it possible, is it legal if one of the people that are here to speak to us, that if they have a particular question, that they can ask the developer?
That is, we have suspended the rules, so people can be called up to ask questions, and we can go from there with it. Real quick, before we bring anyone else up, I do want to ask, and I want to explain this portion. Glenn, page 76. So one of the things that's been kind of a hallmark since I came in as mayor is trying to bring in retail and quality retail gross sales tax, because quite frankly, the city only works off of two forms of real revenue: property tax and sales tax. One hits all of our residents, one's a consumption tax that hits not just our residents, but anyone who may be traveling through. This actually breaks down the numbers for economic impact. And if you look at the economic impact over 20 years, operational plus one-time construction development, the total economic impact, $6 billion in this community. Sales tax, property tax funds police, fire, HR, our water treatment plant, all of our roads that Mike Dietz hates to get messages from me about for potholes, all of our parks events and our beautiful parks, like we're building Brookside Park over on the south side, all of the different books and programs for the library. It funds everything. The city administration, it pays for us to have legal representation from Evan Cope's office. It pays for all the different items. And if we grow sales tax, ideally we don't have to grow property tax. And where this is ideally situated, and you can think of this just from your own neighborhood of the Ridge, there's no commercial anywhere nearby. You have to go over to Sam Ridley or all the way over here to go grocery shopping or go out to Nolensville. At the same time, at the corner of Blair and Waldron Road, if you go out 3 miles, 11,000 new homes between Nolensville, Davidson County, Smyrna, Laverne, the unincorporated areas. They are all going to need a place to purchase their goods, to drive, and to have emergency protection. This helps to provide all of those. It also helps to reverse what we call leakage. If I want to buy a suit, I cannot do that in this city. I have to go to another city. That's leakage. The sales tax dollars leaks over to another community. If we have people from Nolensville and Davidson County, think of Carruthers Crossing, all of those townhomes. If they come over to Laverne to go grocery shopping, their sales tax stays here in Laverne, and it benefits our police, our fire, our roads, our water treatment plant, and that helps our community. But the big part with this, and this is more important even than the dollars and cents. Turnbull sat in on these meetings. Landa Elliott, who's the main guy with Equitable, has been beaten over the head by Alderman Coates and myself, and then by Alderwoman Hobbs with their meeting, is quality, quality, quality. That's what we want, is quality development. And so that's what we have stressed, is not just protecting the Ridge, but protecting the community, all of it. I don't live in the Ridge. I flat out say that. My home backs up to Carruthers, but this will impact me, both traffic, convenience, and property values. This should be, in my opinion, beneficial for this community. So
I'll just say, we feel like we're true partners with the city, and we're looking forward to delivering a top-notch product for you guys. And we've been working hand in hand, all along, and we feel like we've heard the complaints. We've tried to address everything within reason possible with the staff, and we will continue to do so, as we progress and go forward. So thank you very much.
Does any of the people that came, do y'all have any specific questions for this gentleman? Okay, if you guys will come up here so we can hear. You come up too, sir. He's gonna be asking you.
And Walt, if you don't mind, state your name and address for the record.
Sure, Walt Vieira, 117 Rocky Trail. Since we've looked at the numbers, and it seems like we're all aware that there's potential for a lot of revenue, is there any thought given to finding the best anchor for this community, this economic business community? Because it would be great if there's an opportunity to spend before we get there on acquiring an Apple store, something that would bring all other businesses to say, I want to be there because of the anchor that we've got.
Right.
That seems to me to be a great spend up front, because if our best business in there is a Panera, it would not attract anybody else to want to be there. But if we could go big on the front end to get a really good anchor, that would also help to quell some of the traffic, because it would produce an environment where there's not going to be a lot of people speeding through there. Is there any thought given to that up front?
Certainly, that's how, the retail game is, you get the anchor and then everything dovetails off of it. So this is kind of the first step in getting the entitlements, and then everything kind of dovetails behind the anchor, the grocery store anchor, and all the usual suspects. The better the grocery store tenant, the better the other tenants. And I'll just say this, the feedback we've gotten too from the retail community is this fills a hole for a lot of retailers, and their geographic maps. This little bubble would check a big box for a lot of retailers, and so it's been a very positive feedback so far.
So in a perfect world, if you could get your very best client, who would that be as an anchor?
Publix, Whole Foods, the best.
And Walt, I can chime in just a little bit because Landy Elliott came out to ICSC with myself and our economic team, which ICSC Recon is the largest retail convention in the country. He came out and we sat in on multiple meetings. The anchor that's going to probably drive this will be the grocery, whatever the grocery tenant is. We had conversations with 2 nationally known brands. At this point, neither have signed. And I learned my lesson from before that if you mention the different names that you have talked to, people will be, that's what's coming, and that doesn't always happen. So I usually try to wait till they come through Planning Commission, but whoever's in that top green right there, that's going to be your anchor. Everyone else is going to build off of that. But we've had multiple groups out there that's interested. In October, our economic team goes to the Southeast Convention in Atlanta. In December, we go to ICSC New York, which is where we brought in BJ's Wholesale back in 19. And this is a very big part of what we pitch. We pitch a lot of properties in the city, but this is one where it's wide open. It's from the ground up. And so, but we agree with you. Whoever the anchor is going to drive it.
Yeah, can't wait. Thank you.
And I will say, with credit to this developer, I had several conversations with Land as well, and he is eager to meet with the Ridge, organizing, a get-together, an event to talk to us about what we want to see there, which that type of behavior from a developer is unknown to residents of that area historically. So again, that's really promising to me that he wants to engage with us. He wants to make it a product that we want to be there. He wants us to be successful. So again, that was definitely something that made me agreeable. Like me personally, I do not want this here. My property backs up to a farm and I want it to stay that way. But again, this developer has really proven themselves to me that they're interested in bringing quality product, enough so where I have to set my own personal wants and desires for the area aside and go through on what's best for the city and what the rest of my neighbors want, really. So.
And I am in favor of the golf cart. That's great.
It's another one. I never considered that at the very beginning.
Craig Purcell, 501 Smoky Ridge. Thank you. Thank you. Cary, North Carolina. Then is the most sought after place. It'll look just like that.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else have a question?
You have a question, Dan? Is that okay or not?
I'm gonna say let's let.
Oh, this lady, okay.
She lives over. Come on up here so that
Come on up here.
people watching at home can hear you as well. And whenever they type up the minutes, it helps them a lot.
Mainly me, because I'm hard of hearing.
Annette Vieira, 117 Rocky Trail. I just want to say thank you to all of you all. I feel like you've helped us to build trust and moving forward with this. A lot of our hesitation has been a lot of mistrust that we have all experienced from our builder. And our builder sold this property. And so we're always on our guard as to what's the next shoe that's gonna drop that's misrepresenting the promises that we all have given. The builder's giving us this little kiddie pool for a neighborhood pool. I call it the timeshare pool. But I just want to thank all of you for taking our neighborhood in consideration and hearing our concerns, because I feel you are hearing us and taking us into great consideration. And I want to thank you for that. And thank you for hearing us. Because I'm all about shopping and walking. And I always want a grocery store. And I do agree that this would benefit the city of Laverne to bring revenue to our city. We don't need to give it to everybody else, and they benefit. So I look forward to it.
You know, I have
Thank
to
you.
say, Mr. Mayor, I've been up here for over 7 years, and I have to say it's the first time coming from these folks back here, the positivity and the encouragement and the believing. I like that, and we're going to do our best. And I also will tell you guys, if you ever have any questions, you reach out to Graham, or particularly our economic team and Mr. Tom Broker. But now, when you reach out to Tom, don't be in a hurry. Amen?
Amen.
But Tom can go into super duper details about everything.
Thank you for the consideration, Mayor. Dan Eppright, 114 Seward Street, in your good neighbor, Smyrna. I think I can phrase it as a question. It's kind of a statement, but it's a question in the end, and that is, you have an amazing function on your town, city website, and that's the agenda packet. I just checked. There are 48 pages of detailed information on this development. The developer went through a lot of effort to make sure that you knew exactly what was going on. And that's posted online, and everybody in the community is welcome to have it, I'm sure. Would it be possible to take the URL for that packet when you have a Facebook page that says, we're going to have a public meeting? And you put that on there so that people can find it easier. I mean, there's people, very smart people, that don't know it's there. And many of the questions that have been asked tonight are addressed in those 48 pages, which means that they could ask even more detailed questions and drive you crazy. Is that possible,
To
sir?
answer your question, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am. Just name and address for the record, please.
Absolutely. My name is Carla Sledge, and this is my husband, Willie Sledge. We are very new to this community. In fact, we're new to Tennessee. We just moved here in May of this year. And obviously getting this notice, and I love the ruralness. I have to tell you, I love rural areas. I was a little bit concerned. But as I listened to a lot of the comments and questions, I can understand the need for more revenue brought in. And I also can understand how each community would, in fact, benefit from it. I could have missed this because, as I said, we're new. The projected date for this project that's a question mark. And then I could have also missed the projected revenues anticipated as a result of this. Can you help me with that?
Yes, ma'am. Glenn, page 76 again, please. So, you can see there the annual impact as well as the 20-year. It's been kind of simplified down, but you can see indirect local sales tax, direct local sales tax yearly is $3.5 million. And then you've got wages, you've got hotel taxes, you've got property tax from where this property is improved from being quite frankly, a whole bunch of thistle bushes because they hurt when you walk through and they rip your jeans and jackets, which is I found out.
We call them brawlers.
Yeah. And as far as estimated dates, there's, as far as operation, Turnbull, do you have that time frame? Or Alderman Coates, I don't remember that. I know they wanted to get started on the dirt work pretty quickly.
We're estimating between, breaking ground in first quarter next year.
Sure.
And it's probably infrastructure and roads are, a 2-year, year and a half, 18 months, and then we'll start going vertical. It'll be a 3 to 5 year process.
Okay.
The apartments will be built first, right? That's the first phase of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Well, ma'am, I want to, first of all, welcome to Laverne.
Thank you.
Please follow the laverne10.gov webpage. You can find all these departments, most of them, especially our emergencies, on Facebook. Come to the meetings.
Absolutely.
Just about every meeting we have is on television, whether it's this or planning or parks or whatever. And it'll keep you up to date on everything.
Thank you so much.
Well, welcome to Laverne.
Thank you.
And if you need anything, reach out to us. All of our cards are out in the lobby. Call us. We're all regular people. We work regular jobs, except for this guy who's retired and this woman who's retired.
He's retired too.
Nah, he still works. But we all answer our own phones. We help any way we can. If we don't know an answer, we'll tell you, but we're hunt them down.
Please don't listen to your neighbor. Call us.
I will. Thank you so much.
Any other questions, concerns, comments?
Well, and I just want to say, like I said, I think at the last regular meeting, that I see the potential for this retail space to benefit, I live in Lake Forest, so to benefit the other side of the interstate by keeping people from going to Smyrna, going over to the hub of what is Laverne. And so I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
Just one more point to clarify about, like speed bumps and that sort of thing. That will be the city's responsibility, the developer, the city that owns the street. So that will eventually be the city's obligation or concern when it comes to that point.
Okay, with that, I'm going to go back into regular order, and now we need a motion to approve or deny.
Make a motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from Alderman Coates. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor No. Any other discussion from the board?
I just want to thank the board for taking the time to listen to our citizens this evening. So thank you.
It's all team.
Do my motion.
It's all team. So with that, Alderwoman Hobbs.
For the record, personally, I do not want this in my backyard, but on behalf of the city, my vote is yes.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Your feelings is like when Walmart came.
I know.
Personally,
I know.
I vote aye.
I vote aye. Motion passes. Moving on to the consent agenda. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve on the consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderwoman Hobbs. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Moving on to new business. First reading ordinance 2025-16, an ordinance to amend Title 7, Chapter 2 of the Laverne Municipal Code regarding the fire code. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderwoman Hobbs. Alderwoman Hobbs?
Aye.
Alderman Coates?
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
I vote aye. That motion passes. First reading ordinance 2025-17, an ordinance to amend the City of Laverne fee schedule. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Vice Mayor No. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderwoman Haas. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
Motion passes. First reading ordinance 2025-18, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 budget. Need a motion to approve or deny.
Motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve from Alderwoman Haas. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Coates. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
Motion passes. First reading ordinance 2025-19, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2024-2025 State Street Aid Fund budget. I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Vice Mayor No. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 10, first reading ordinance 2025-20, an ordinance to amend the fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget. Need a motion to approve or deny?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve from
Second for
Alderman
discussion.
Coates and a second for discussion from Alderwoman Hobbs.
I just want to clarify here, because it talks about if the board chooses to fund the position for 6 months versus the annual cost. So I want to be clear. My anticipation is that we would post the job tomorrow and hopefully find a candidate within a few months. And I just don't know what this looks like, so I want to be clear on what this looks like.
I would actually like to offer an amendment to the motion and to clarify that.
Yeah.
To motion to accept as submitted starting this month and going forward. And then this way it gives them, while there won't be any funds dispersed, it would be, as far as recruitment can go ahead and post, interview, and then get someone hired, because we know this is going to be a long process. So I would make a motion to amend that motion.
We do need to wait for the second reading before we can post a job.
Right.
So,
So the
like
search can
he's-
start.
yeah.
Is that what,
The search can start after second reading
Okay.
if the motion's amended and approved.
But wouldn't the pay be prorated for the year from, like, if we get somebody hired by September, that they would get paid until till July?
No, what would happen is, so let's say hypothetically someone was hired in February.
Okay.
Well, they're going to get paid, even if we approved it tonight and we approve it next month. If they were hired in February, they would get paid starting in February and go through, the rest of that fiscal year. Any of the funds between when we approve it and when that person is hired are not utilized because they're unreal at that point.
but this doesn't keep us from hiring somebody sooner than a particular date?
Not with this motion to amend included in there. If the motion to amend is seconded and approved, and then the overall is approved, and then the second reading is approved next month, then Andrew can post the job description and start recruitment. Long drawn-out process.
That
But
gives me a headache.
am I speaking
Yes, sir, you're
correctly? Okay.
correct. You just need a second on your amended motion.
So is there a second for my amended motion?
Second.
Second from Alderwoman Hobbs. First, we need to vote on the amendment. It's all Robert's Rules and Procedural. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion to amend is approved. Now we have the motion to approve with the start date being now. We have a second. At this point, any other discussion on that?
But I don't think you have a second on now you have a motion as amended. You need a second on that.
Need a motion as, okay.
Second.
Everyone's getting in on this, so.
Sorry.
No problem, you're keeping us straight.
That's okay, Evan. That's what
You
you
get a
get paid the
lawyer.
big bucks for.
I knew something was going on when Katie leaned forward, so. She always does that with planning commission. We need to get in line. Any discussion? Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderwoman Haas.
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
I vote aye, motion passes. Resolution 2025-14, a resolution of the City of Laverne Board of Mayor and Aldermen to declare property owned by the city to be surplus to the city's needs and directing disposal of the same. I make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Alderwoman Haas. Alderwoman Hobbs.
Aye.
Alderman Coates.
Aye.
Alderman Haas?
Aye.
Vice Mayor No.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to Mayor and Alderman comments. Alderwoman Hobbs.
I think I've said enough. I look forward to the 4th of July, seeing everybody out there. Parks and Rec, you guys always do a fantastic job, so I'm looking forward to it. And everybody have a safe summer, wear your life jackets out on the lake. That's all.
Okay. Alderman Coates.
Enjoy the fireworks and be safe.
Alderman Haas.
4th of July, there will be swag out there, lays and some light up thingies for the kids and stuff like that. So make sure you stop by the tent. We'll be handing them out. Everyone be safe. Remember the fireworks ordinances and times. And remember your dogs, cats, and other pets that are affected by the fireworks and stuff. Make sure you have them properly medicated or up in the house where they don't get loose, because would you just hush? Because lots of them get loose and try to break out. Thank you.
Make sure they got ample water.
Oh, and make sure they got plenty of water and food for the vice mayor.
Vice Mayor No.
Yeah, I got a couple things.
I figured you would.
First of all, thank you, Laverne Fire Department. The guys are coming out tomorrow, and they're going to be feeding the Laverne seniors. And it's my understanding that next month I'll be saying this same thing about the police department. Public Works, just like the fire department and police department, you guys are doing a great job on Facebook and information and getting water breaks and all that stuff out. And then I'm going to end on a sad note. A lot of y'all know Rick Autry. Rick was on the Parks Board for years. He was on my senior board for years. I've known him for about 25. Big volunteer in the community. And he is at Stonecrest fighting for his life. So if y'all could remember Rick in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do want to remind everyone that this Friday, 5:30, David, gates open at Veterans Memorial Park, which is right behind Dunkin' Donuts here on Murfreesboro Road. Beautiful, big, giant park. We will have live music. We will have food trucks. We will have snack booths, live music. All of that is going to be a lot of fun for this community. So come out, bring a blanket, bring a canopy, bring your chairs. Do not bring fireworks to the park because police will come have a conversation with you. But come, let's have some fun. I'll be there. I'll have a canopy set up. Anyone's welcome to come, bring a chair and sit around and just enjoy.
Can you bring a cooler?
You can bring a cooler. You just have to have non-alcoholic
Right.
drinks.
Well, just a lot of people don't know that.
We have to stress that. I do want to thank Michael Dietz and his department of just about every department. I run his department ragged with reports of potholes, road repairs from where people have reached out to me, and I know it is tiring. I am very tiring. Thank you. We do appreciate you and your entire team for what y'all do. I believe y'all were out on Waldron today working on it. So thank you to you and your team for handling the whole city. But my text messages won't stop. Sorry. I will keep sending over more. And then last but not least, I want to say happy early anniversary to my wife. Tomorrow is 20 years of marriage. So she is coming home from church camp, and we're going to actually go down to the Crystals and have us a good romantic meal. So if she's lucky, there's going to be cheese on that Crystal, but we'll see.
That woman needs a big crown.
With that, I call this meeting adjourned.